I'm Neil Williams. I'm a career coach. I've actually worked at board level. I've been made redundant 3 times and I'm an accredited career coach. What we're looking to do today is just to give you an example of one of the exercises involved in ensuring people find the right job that they're going to enjoy going forward. I'm particularly keen at helping young people find the job that they want, and hopefully you get a good idea from this exercise of how I coach. So Jade and I have already completed the life balance work wheel, and we just thought we'd give you a demonstration of the wheel at work. So Jade's already completed the 8 sections with the 8 most important aspects of her work, and she's also put scores in the boxes. This is 1 being awful, 10 being fantastic, and we're just going to have a little bit of a chat around that really. So Jade, after doing the exercise, what are the first things that impact upon you by scoring the various sections?
The realisation of what I have to do in a day's work and the distribution of my time, and yeah, that really.
Okay, so is it the time aspect that's hit you the most, or?
Yeah, just how many hours a week I'm at work and what I have to do during those days really.
Okay, so when we're looking overall at these scores, what would you say is an acceptable score to you? That you're reasonably comfortable with the score?
10 being good, 1 being poor.
Yeah.
I'd say I'd hope in the middle of a 5 would be a reasonably good score.
So anything above 5 you'd be reasonably happy with?
Yes.
Okay, so looking at this then, we have 3 aspects out of the 8. Scoring of male dominance at 3.
Yep.
The difference of mentality of age between 8 and 40 at 5, and the hours that you mentioned at 2. So should we start off with the hours at work? I mean, once you've completed that now, is there anything you could do differently to make sure, to try and get that 2 to a 4 or a 5?
I think it's just a 2 because it's trying to get the balance of social and work life really. The hours that I do at work are the hours that have to stay there really.
Right.
So that there'll be no change in those.
Okay.
But a lot of the time I have to take my work home with me and do the note taking at home, whereas a lot of the other hours is on site. So if I finish at 7 o'clock, I'll go home and still work at 10.
Oh,
so
that sounds a little bit extreme. So certainly as part of our coaching program, we would delve into that, because that's all to do with time management and are there better ways of doing it, or are you taking on too much, and all those sort of aspects. So that's certainly an area we'd focus on. So that looks as if that would be priority 1 at this sort of stage. Okay, looking at the male dominance, I mean, that's a massive issue, isn't it, in a football club? So
yeah, where I work is a football club, so everybody apart from me is male. I'm one of the physiotherapists, so some people accept that there's a female in their football club, others are quite old-fashioned in the respect that a female would never usually work in a football club. Time to time it's quite good, you get treated as the little princess, but other times if you want something done you really have to work hard compared to a male who can just get it there and then kind of no questions asked.
Right.
But yeah.
So do you think there's any sort of change you could make as an assertiveness or something that could actually change that balance?
Could probably try and be stronger, and maybe just try to be more stronger willed and stronger powered, rather than, because it's banter all the time, banter, so you have to be quite quick to give it back. And obviously sometimes with me it's that they won't push the boundaries as much as they would another male member of staff, if you see what I mean.
Yeah. So again, that's another area that we can explore. I mean, I've noticed when I've been watching the football that the Chelsea Football Club has a female doing exactly that job. So I would think it's an area where it's quite a tricky one, but we could certainly go into in that a bit of detail. Because changing rooms can be changing rooms, can't they? And I can remember the banter from years ago. And then the other interesting area you've got here is the age range. So what's all that about then?
Well, where I work, obviously, I work with youngsters, so from 8 years old right up to the professionals, to some of them are as old as 35. And then obviously the other members of staff, backroom staff, can be up to 50 even. It's just a difference in mentality of you've got the youngsters who are just bored at school and they come in and just want a release, and then you've got the 16s to 18s, so it's all girls and, you know, sex and going out drinking, and then you've got the professionals who are married with children, yeah, so it's just getting the mentality right of who you're dealing with, dealing with at the time, your mentality towards them.
So you have to adapt your style a lot and that sort of thing, really.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And have you found that tricky with a particular age range, or?
The younger ones are always the trickiest because all they do is just fall on the floor and cry. So once you get past the tears, you realise that actually their injury isn't that bad. It's just a grazed knee. Whereas obviously when they're a lot older, they can tell the difference of pain and what's really bad and what's just a run-off injury, kind of. So yeah.
Bit of variety, really.
Definitely, yeah.
Okay, so that sounds like that's probably the third priority. So over the programme of 6 sessions, you'll be able to select whichever section you want to look at first, really, whichever area you think will have the most impact.
Right.
And then by the end of the sessions, everything will be perfect.
Okay,
well,
good.
That's not quite reality, but certainly we can improve those, I'm sure.
Wicked.
So thanks very much for taking part.
No worries, thank you.
Thank you.